In the NFL, rosters getting cut down from 90 to 53 players.
But were there any surprises in who was released? News 3 Now's senior Packers writer Jason Wilde has more from Green Bay.
Usually heading into the final cuts of training camp, the biggest question I hear is who's going to be the surprise cut? And while I resist the urge to sarcastically reply, well, if I knew who it was, it wouldn't be a surprise, would it? The Packers' cuts today to get down to the 53-man roster limit were void of all surprises. Yes, there was a player or two that I thought perhaps would make it that didn't. Chief among them being Christian Welch, the Iola, Wisconsin native, who was cut at the end of training camp last year when he shouldn't have been, and now has been cut at the end of training camp this year again. But beyond that, Mecole Hardman, Isaiah Simmons, veteran players that the Packers took a flyer on, were not surprising to be released. And maybe Brian Gutekunst, the Packers GM, told us that that was going to happen with what he said a couple of weeks ago. He did not speak to reporters today, but this is what he said heading into the final two preseason games.
I think everything matters. I mean, even the non-practice stuff, how you're working in the building, doing the bare minimum, it isn't going to get you anywhere in this league. And I think that's the thing, with young players coming in, and I think most of the vets kind of understand this, that, you got to take advantage of all the resources that are here to be a good player. And I think for us, that's part of the evaluation as well, what they're doing in this building and how they're handling themselves and studying and taking care of their bodies. But for me, it's always been, the preseason games and now these joint practices where the level of competition is amped up a little bit. And quite frankly, in the preseason games where these guys have to make decisions out on the field without, breaks in between each snap when they're tired. So those things matter to me, and they always weigh a little bit more.
Now, today isn't solely about who isn't going to be here. And by the way, the Packers have a 16-man practice squad that they can fill tomorrow after 12 noon. And many of the players that were released will probably be brought back on the practice squad. But there were a couple of feel-good stories from today. One of them is Kamal Hadden, who spent all of last year on the practice squad and got his way onto the 53-man roster today. The other, Nazir Stackhouse, undrafted free agent from Georgia, a defensive lineman. His Georgia teammate, Warren Brinson, was drafted in the 6th round. He made the team along with the 7 other Packers draft picks. But for Stackhouse, who has battled narcolepsy and who was against the odds as an undrafted free agent, he became the player who makes a 21-year streak now where the Packers have kept at least one undrafted rookie free agent for their opening day roster. From Green Bay, Jason Wilde, Channel3000.com.
All right, thank you, Jason. And we are just 10 days away from the kickoff of the NFL season. The Packers open at home on Sunday, September the 7th, with a 3:25 Central Time Lambeau Field kickoff against the Lions. And you can watch it right here on Channel 3.